I thought I could help my girlfriend by taking over parenting, but my emotional distance shattered our relationship. After a 6.5-year roller coaster, she said, "I can't forgive you," while I was finally realizing my love for her. Now I'm moving out and spiraling. Could this be the end? I will try to keep this brief. We have been together for 6.5 years. We have children, twins who are 2.5 years old. We are not married. The primary reason for the breakup is me. During the latter half of her pregnancy and nearly a year after the children were born, I failed to provide her with emotional support. At least not consistently. Out of fear about whether I was truly prepared to be a parent and how significant a step that was, combined with my own foolishness in attempting to handle everything alone, I emotionally detached myself from her. At times I was cold, while at other times I was affectionate. Occasionally I would act normally and offer her the love and attention every man should give to his pregnant partner, yet during most times I remained distant. I was uncertain about my emotions and my feelings for her. On one occasion I even told her that I no longer loved her. That statement was the truth at that moment. I did not feel love. I expressed my desire to remain in her life because I genuinely wanted to be with her. This confession understandably devastated her. Coupled with my inconsistent expressions of love and my discomfort with her need for stability and support, it led her through a very difficult time. She would sometimes plead for a hug or for my attention, which is not something anyone should ever have to experience in a relationship. After our children were born, I hoped to finally come to terms with my emotions and issues. However, no one ever prepared me for the realization that parenthood is not like it is depicted in movies. I did not see them and immediately think, yes, I will love them for my entire life. I understood they were my children, our children, but the love I expected to feel was absent. This absence of emotion only exacerbated my fears and confused me further, prolonging my troubling state. I cared for them, my girlfriend and our children, as best I could. I helped with their bathing, feeding, and everything within my ability. However, emotionally, I was still absent when she needed me the most. Eventually, perhaps after 4 or 5 months, I started to genuinely feel that love. They were no longer just babies needing my care, they were my babies. Gradually, I began to reconnect. I realized the harm I had caused my girlfriend. It took me a bit longer, but I rediscovered my love for her. For the past year, I have been more certain than ever that I want to be with her. But it was too late. I recognized how badly I had messed up and attempted to show her that I was here for her now that I had returned. However, the damage was already done. We were functioning as a couple again, yes, but every disagreement we had would remind her of my earlier behavior. Even though we discussed it repeatedly, she never forgave me, which I understand. She never forgave herself for allowing me to put her through such a tough experience, and I have not forgiven myself either. I attempted to make up for it by taking care of our children whenever possible. I wanted to demonstrate to them, to myself, and to her that I could be a father, that I am a father, that I wanted them, and that I love them. Yet, that effort inadvertently led me back to distancing myself from my girlfriend. About 6 months ago, following an argument, she informed me that she could no longer be in a romantic relationship with me. Around that same time, many changes occurred in her life. She was set to return to work after 3 years of maternity leave, only to be told she was no longer needed at her job. She celebrated her 30th birthday and started a new job as a psychologist in a community for teenagers facing addiction issues. Her schedule consists of 3 consecutive full days a week, from 7 a.m. to late evening, meaning she does not see the children on those days. Naturally, she felt guilty about this, but I reassured her that it was okay and that she was not abandoning them since they were with me. During the remaining days, she attended the gym, took dance lessons, or worked in her private practice. Only for a couple of hours each day, but I had to care for the children during that time. She repeatedly expressed her need for time to herself, which I understood. Gradually, I assumed more of her responsibilities within our family. I was spending significantly more time with the children and managing our household. I believed this was how I could assist her, by allowing her to concentrate on her career and focus on herself after so many years spent at home. Only much later did I realize that this was not helping her at all. At work, she met a colleague who provided her with considerable support. She spoke to me about him when we used to share things. However, about 4 months ago, I discovered that she fell in love with him, or at least she believed so, and that was when she completely severed her connection with me. She stopped sharing anything, lost interest in my life, and began coming home progressively later. We became mere roommates with children. I tried tirelessly to talk with her to understand what was happening, what our future looked like, but she consistently insisted she needed time. I granted her that time, but nothing changed. Each time I attempted to engage her in conversation, I met with the same lack of response. We continued sharing a home, I continued to care for our children and ensured she had time for herself, time she desired. Yet I soon realized she was not truly spending that time alone. She became excessively attached to her job or sought the attention of another man. Recently, judging by her behavioral shift, she ceased pursuing her coworker. However, on several occasions, I saw her chatting online with another man about a date they were planning, as well as sharing personal information with him. She was never by herself, and that frustrated me. She asks for time alone, I provide it, but she does anything except spend time alone. A few days ago, I finally managed to get her to talk. I informed her of my decision to move out within the next few days. She reiterated that she could not forgive me for my past actions and could not forgive herself for staying when she wanted to leave. She accused me of obsessing over our children and taking away her role. Furthermore, she told me she is actively seeking other men's attention because, during our relationship, she had repeatedly told herself that I was the only man she wanted and needed, never glancing at anyone else, which is true. And now she feels the need to open up her options. I am honestly feeling terrible. Over the past 4 months, I have spent a lot of time alone, contemplating my actions and what went wrong. I have come to terms with my mistakes and found a way to forgive myself. Forgive, not forget. Yet I cannot help but blame her as well. This situation is not entirely my fault. I often held her responsible for not clearly expressing that she was struggling. Yes, I should have recognized it, but I thought by providing her with space and time, I was helping her. I blame her for not giving me another chance and abruptly ending our relationship while I waited for her, allowing her the time she needed. I understand that most of the accountability rests with me, that is clear to me. However, I cannot change the past. I attempted to improve myself, I aimed to be better, I endeavored to provide more support. And things appeared to be working until they didn't. Now I feel utterly lost. I realize the right decision is to move out to grant her space, and that is my plan, but I do not want to do that. I genuinely love and care for her, and I worry about her and her current situation. Yet I also recognize that I cannot take responsibility for her. I understand that giving her time away from me might ultimately assist her in forgiving both me and herself, but I also see that she is doing everything within her power to avoid being alone. During our relationship, I ceased contact with the few friends I had because she was more than sufficient for me, and I was genuinely happy that way. But I never truly considered the possibility of losing her, and now I feel as though I did not do enough to keep the only person I care about in my life. Most importantly, I do not want to miss out on experiences in our children's lives. Yes, I will still spend half the time with them, but I desire for them to grow up in a family, a proper family, something we currently are not. I must find a way to gather myself, but I am unsure of what that even means. I need to take care of our children and ensure they feel comfortable in the new place where I will reside. I do not know if this is a definitive breakup or if we might eventually reconcile. I am searching for clarity, but in the past few days, before I informed her of my intention to leave, she treated me more kindly than usual. She even asked about my well-being, something she had not done in the last 4 months. While she has never outright stated that she does not want to be with me, she has said that she cannot be with me. I realize this is holding me back and I cannot move forward under these circumstances, yet I do not wish to move on. If there is a chance, I want to be with her. I have not yet moved out, so I will see her again tomorrow before I pack my belongings. I want to ensure that she knows I am here for her if she needs assistance, as she comes from another town and has no family here and only a couple of close friends. However, I also feel that I should not do too much, as she should recognize what she stands to lose. Not as a punishment, but as a realization. So I am uncertain of my exact question. Is there a possibility we could reconcile? Has anyone here experienced a breakup that did not ultimately end in separation? How do I ensure I offer her support without falling back into the patterns of the past? Because if everything remains unchanged for her, how will she comprehend what she is losing? And most importantly, how do I make sure our children feel as little disruption from this change as possible? Story 2. My fiancée of 5 years, Jess, confessed she cheated on me emotionally with a woman she met during her year-long internship. I miss her, she said, breaking my heart. Now I'm lost in this darkness, but I can't imagine losing the love of my life. Can we recover? Hi everyone, English is not my native language, and as I write this, I am in an extremely depressed state. I apologize if I mispronounce anything or if clarification is needed. I will edit later. Additionally, I apologize for the lengthy message I am about to share. It is perfectly fine if you choose not to read it. Perhaps I just need a place to vent. I am a 26-year-old male, and I have been in a relationship with Jess, a fictitious name, 29-year-old female, for 5 years. We have gone through numerous challenges together, which we managed to overcome, but I am uncertain about how to approach this particular situation. As background information, when we initially met, we both behaved childishly. Jess was a little heartbroken from a past relationship in which she got engaged 1 year after their breakup because her fiancé did not treat her well and he almost certainly cheated on her. While she is unsure about it, from what she heard, it is most probably true. When we started dating, I understood her situation and did my best to be supportive. Meanwhile, I did not believe that this relationship would go as far as it has. I simply liked her and wanted to be together to see what would happen. I loved and cared for her deeply, ensuring that I helped heal her emotional wounds, and I succeeded. She began to feel better and our bond strengthened. It even took us almost 4 months to become intimate, which is quite different from the relationships that are common today. We dedicated ourselves to each other wholeheartedly, trying to make sure that the other felt loved and cared for. Now moving to a later point in time, after 2 years of dating, I proposed and she appeared hesitant but ultimately said yes. In that moment, I sensed her uncertainty, and I swear that if she had hesitated for another second, I would have told her it was okay and that perhaps it was not the best time. During our 4th year together, she wanted to pursue an internship in another country for her job. I was not entirely comfortable with this because it would mean she would be away for 6 months or possibly a year. She felt this opportunity was essential for her career progression, and although I hated the idea of the distance, I understood and accepted it. During this year apart, I lost my job, discovered that my father has cancer, and the absence of her support felt unbearable. I attempted to visit her once a month, and she made the same effort for me 3 times. During the other months, I did not have much money because, after being let go, it took me 4 months to start a new job, which I did not particularly like, but one must do what one must do. Throughout this time, she always expressed her love for me, saying that she could not live without me and could not wait for the situation to conclude so we could be together. She cried at night about being apart, but at least, from a professional standpoint, things were going well. Fast forward to the winter of 2024. While she was at her internship, new people arrived, including a girl who had also recently been heartbroken due to a past relationship with another woman, the latter being bisexual. It is relevant to note that my girlfriend was previously disgusted by homosexuals and could never understand their way of life. I have never had a problem with this, especially since I know gay and lesbian individuals and they are genuinely nice together. My girlfriend and this new girl quickly became good friends, and my girlfriend shared how happy she was to have someone to confide in, which I supported wholeheartedly. My girlfriend is extremely introverted and anxious, making it difficult for her to form friendships. Fast forward to March 22nd, which was our 5th anniversary. We met up, and I did not sense anything unusual until we became intimate. Although there was usually a strong connection, this time I did not feel it. I thought perhaps she was tired from traveling and because we had walked around all day. As we were heading home, she expressed excitement at the idea of seeing me and being together again. However, I noticed that she started to communicate with me less frequently, and video calls became non-existent. When she returned home last week, I was overjoyed to see her and she appeared equally happy. The issue arose when we became intimate and I noticed the absence of our connection. It felt merely physical. The next day was the same. On the 3rd day we started drinking and I asked her whether anything had happened while she was away. She denied it. Then I jokingly asked if she had done something amusing with that girl. In that moment I could see the life draining from her and I knew something was wrong. She confessed everything, that they were just friends but that at the beginning of March she began to develop feelings for her, and they had become intimate from the first days of her internship. This all started before our 5th anniversary, and it continued until she returned home. On her last night there, she became drunk simply because she was leaving that place. Additionally, she mentioned that when I proposed to her, she felt scared and began to consider whether she had attachment issues since she believes she cannot be with anyone forever, which may reflect her personality. At this moment, I am a complete mess. She suggested that we attend therapy together, and after our first session, she admitted she forgot half of what we discussed. Despite being scheduled for a second session, I do not know what to say. After I learned the truth, she began to act cold around me. We still talk and occasionally laugh, but there is no touching or kissing. She has begun to show some affection, such as holding hands or offering brief hugs, but a kiss is limited to a very small peck. The breakdown came last night before bed when I heard her phone receive a notification, and it was from that girl. She said they were no longer in contact, but here we are. The most frustrating part, she told me that she misses her and thinks about her daily. How can you tell your fiancé and boyfriend of 5 years that you miss the person you cheated with? Because she cheated emotionally as well. She went to sleep, but I could not. I went to the kitchen to smoke. I had gone 4 months without cigarettes until she encouraged me and started to feel my heart racing out of my chest as if I was going to have a heart attack. The pain was immense and I am unsure whether it was physical or emotional, but I have never felt such distress. Ultimately, I managed to fall asleep, trying to convince myself that the pain was not real and was merely mental. I feel lost, everyone. I sense that everything is becoming darker and darker. I do not know if I am foolish for wanting to attempt to resolve things despite being deeply hurt. I loved and continue to love this girl with all my heart, and she makes me feel things that no one else ever has. I want to make things right, but I am uncertain about her intentions. She appears to be considering a slow approach, but also seems unable to move past what occurred. I may be an idiot, but I do not want to lose her. I truly do not want to lose the person I felt was the one to whom I dedicated myself entirely over these years. However, I do not know what more I can do. If you have read everything and would be willing to offer advice, thank you. If not, I apologize for the lengthy ramble I have shared. I have omitted many details to keep it shorter, but it appears that my message is still excessively long. To summarize, my girlfriend of 5 years cheated on me with another girl, and I am unsure of what steps to take moving forward.